What's up, YouTube? This is the Federation here, and I'm bringing another one of Venansula's battles, and this is going to be the Arverni versus the Seleucids, who you would assume would be a terrible matchup for the Arverni. To just start by taking a look at the Seleucid army to see why I'm saying that, he's got 2 Agama cavalry, Indian armored elephant, and scythe chariots. And to be honest, the rest of his units, it doesn't really matter, but he's got 5 light peltists, 2 hillmen, and 5 Thurio spears. Now, even with just the Indian armored elephants and the scythe chariots, you've got to think that the Arverni are in trouble, because especially against chariots, they don't really have much they can do. So the chariots can only really be stopped by very heavy infantry, pikes, or like cataphracts, some kind of heavy cavalry that can hold them in place and make it so that there's nothing they can do. So what Venansula's got is a light horse, a noble horse, and another light horse, a couple of chosen spears and chosen swords for his front line, as well as a spear noble on the right flank and a spear noble general, and then some Celtic skirmishers, and I believe 3 Celtic slingers, as well as a naked warrior on each flank. So he's gonna move up rather cautiously, but also in a very wide formation. So the Seleucid player is, like many players in quick battles these days, content to just sit here. And while that can seem like a good idea, since it means you don't have to maneuver at all and you get to keep your formation, this gives Venansula the ability to just encircle him. And you see, right now, if you take a look at the tactical map, that he's just got the Seleucid player in kind of an interesting spot. I have no idea what all this blue is about. I'm going to assume that's a replay glitch. But anyway, you can see this Agama cav is not quite getting caught by these naked warriors, but the light horse is much quicker than Agama cav, being less armored, and shouldn't have too much trouble catching it. Also, you get these war dogs right into the hillmen, and instantly these war dogs are on 14 kills. So I guess a lot of these kills must have been from skirmishers. But you see what they are doing to this formation. The Thurio spears are totally out of formation trying to counter this. And you taking advantage of this, Venansula is able to move up. He's put that Agama cav in a bit of trouble, forced him to retreat. And this Agama cav is also in forced retreat. So whereas the Seleucid player would want to be aggressive with his shock cavalry, he's now having to kind of be like the responder in this battle. And normally when you're a faction like the Seleucids with some really powerful charging units, being aggressive is your best way to win. Because the Arverni are totally built for doing damage on the charge. And you can see this here. You've got these chosen swords doing well against these Thurio spears, and his noble horse he's got right into these chariots. And the chariots can't really get through that effectively. You can see they're kind of pulling through, but the noble horse are holding them in place. And that gives his spear nobles time to get into the chariots, and with their bonus versus large, that's going to be bad news for spear nobles. Now the Seleucid is going to bring in his Agama cavalry, but this probably isn't the place for them. They are now trapped by spear nobles, naked fanatics, or naked warriors, and a chosen spear. And his chariots have started to lose men. And when they start to lose men, they're in trouble. Because that means they're out of hit points and are going to go down pretty easily. So he's going to start chasing off this elephant general who's gone berserk with his spear noble general. And you can see that these barbarian infantry are just destroying the Thurio spear line of the Seleucid player, who's not maneuvering his flank at all. Finally, he's getting his chariots into the fight, and this is going to be trouble. Because even though they've lost quite a few men in a fairly bad engagement for the Seleucid, he's already got 130 kills just by right-clicking several times. And that's the danger of chariots, is that even if you play them correctly, they can still get so many kills. But despite this, the Seleucid's lack of management and Venansula's good micro has allowed him to get this engagement here and basically wipe out the Seleucid's entire infantry line. And at this point, he's able to just clean up the individual units that the Seleucid player has left. And that's going to force other units to rout before they might otherwise, like these chariots on 5 out of 9 men. And now all he's got to do is take out those last few skirmishers, and he will have himself a nice little victory there. Definitely one you wouldn't normally expect, seeing the Arverni go against the Seleucids. But these elephants are being a little bit difficult and refusing to go down. And they're on 161 kills. So they definitely did do quite a bit of damage, but the Seleucid player just didn't do enough damage with his infantry line. He just kind of left it there. And if that's going to be his game plan, then why not bring levy pikes? Like, that's the way people are building nowadays, to effectively have a holding infantry line, but Seleucid player did not do that, and Venansula took full advantage. And so after charging his spear nobles in, he is able to finish off these Indian armored elephants, who are going to last a little bit longer, but then the slings will finally take them down. And so he still does have these 4 light peltists, which are a very powerful unit, to be sure. But Venansula has skirmishers of his own left. He's got these 3 slingers, and so all he's got to do is force these guys to keep running and just shoot these light peltists in the back with his slingers. He's also doing a nice job kind of encircling to not give the light peltist many ways out of here. That being said, they are going to do quite a bit of damage, but it looks like at this point the Seleucid player is going to call it quits and decide he doesn't really have a chance in this. And so Venansula will take the win. Something interesting to note is that despite these savage dogs being thrown directly into a heavy infantry line, meaning the Thurios spears, they still pulled off 105 kills. And as I've mentioned in some of my personal videos, these war dogs have become one of my favorite units to use, because if they're used correctly, they can definitely pay for themselves and more. Also of note are these naked warriors, which pulled off 200 kills, and that's very good rate considering what they were up against. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle, and I will see you next time.